My name is Christy Busby, and you are about to listen to the next episode of my podcast called Fate, From Atheism to Enlightenment. So come on in, join me. We're going to talk about it all, from atheism to enlightenment. Alrighty, guys, here we go. Get ready, and welcome to your fate. Welcome, everyone, to the next episode of Fate. How's everybody doing today? On today's show, I have returning guest Carmen Turner-Schott here. We have officially moved into the Age of Aquarius, and I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have on the show to discuss all the ramifications other than astrologer extraordinaire Carmen Turner-Schott. Carmen, welcome to your fate, my friend.
Thank you.
How you
I'm doing
today?
good. Thanks for having me back. And
thank you for joining me. I mean, we have officially entered into the Age of Aquarius. It has brought a whole different energy to this planet, to each other. And I really want to do a show that is dedicated to what it means, what's coming up for 2025, and, how one can handle the upcoming chaos that may or may not be upon us. So I'm very happy that you're here to discuss all things Age of Aquarius.
Yes. This is great. I mean, the biggest thing of why everyone in the world is feeling this is because astrology is energy. And the energy of the planets impacts life on Earth. Whether you believe in astrology or not, it's affecting humans, animals, everyone, the weather. I mean, it's affecting everything. And so just like the moon affects the tides of the ocean, the moon affects our emotional nature and the water in our body and our equilibrium, all kinds of things. So that's why I love astrology, because it's energy and it's a science, and it affects us. It works. So January 2025, I'll start with January. We had a few things happen in January that are important. So what we had was Pluto right at the, Pluto's been going back and forth retrograde for a few years into Capricorn, and then it went into Aquarius for a little bit, then it went back into Capricorn, and then on November 1st, 2024, it entered Aquarius for the final time for a 20-year cycle. And what this means is this cycle will last until March 8, 2043. So 20 years. So I call it the dawning of the Age of Aquarius, because we are in an age of innovation. Aquarius is the sign, which I know you're an Aquarius. You got a birthday coming up soon. So it's the water bearer. It's a fixed sign. So they're strong in their beliefs and very passionate about helping people, humanitarian, can be strong-willed too, fixed signs. But they're air. And so they're very much about technology and science and communication, and they're friendly. They're all about social connections, meeting people, learning new things, opening up their mind, rebellious, non-traditional, question authority, right? Like, well, why, if things are always done a certain way traditionally, they'll question it. Well, why can't we do it a new way? Because they want to bring change and growth, and they love new experiences, and they love freedom and independence. So right now, the sun is in the sign Aquarius as we're talking today. But Pluto went into Aquarius, and it's there right now. And what it's been doing is it was really close to the sun this past couple weeks. So we call that a conjunction. So Pluto, talked a little bit about Aquarius energy. Pluto was the planet that was discovered when nuclear power was discovered. So most of the outer planets that astrologers use and astronomers have found were actually found in during major periods of transition on the Earth, when something new was invented. So, for instance, Pluto was when they didn't know Pluto was out there till they created the atomic bomb. Well, that's why it's an intense planet. Its energy rules death, rebirth, trauma, destruction, transformation, but also healing, healing and growth. So it really helps us heal in the end, but it's painful because Pluto brings a wound. Wherever it is in your birth chart is where we have a wound, but we can heal that wound through, healing ourselves and helping other people. So it's not it's kind of a scary planet when you think about Pluto because it's the tower card, in the tarot deck. It's like lightning strikes and everybody's throwing a tower. Pluto shakes things up and it just makes your whole life change before your eyes. And so the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, these are some things that happened. We had the American Revolution. We had the
Oh, wow.
French Revolution. We had the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, creating all this technology, these new ways of making things, doing business, and if you think about it, all these things with AI, artificial intelligence, robots, space travel, they're saying they want to put the American flag on Mars. I mean, this is Aquarius energy, guys. It's out there, it's scientific, it's creative, it's imaginative, it's like sci-fi. Like, is this really going to happen? It's happening, guys, right now. And also a lot of inventions came during the last age of Aquarius, which is a good thing because they're already talking about trying to find cures for cancer, their Alzheimer's. I think in this 20-year period, medically, they're going to have a lot of new technology to help treat illnesses and maybe cure some diseases that we've had. So that's a cool thing. Right?
Well, that would be
It would be
nice.
cool. And because last time it was Aquarius, the smallpox vaccine was invented, the sewing machine, the hot air balloon, and the parachute. So pretty cool.
Interesting,
All
isn't it?
kind of air stuff, things you
Uh,
can't. Well, if you think about, vaccine illnesses, they're in the air, but you can't see them. That's Aquarius. You can't the Aquarius is there, but it's hard to connect with their energy because it's air and it's a higher air. Like, every air sign has a different personality trait. So Geminis are air, but they're more friendly, social, and talkative, and they want to flirt and connect, and the life of the party. And then you have Aquarius that is like more detached, like
aloof.
like
Yeah.
aloof, like a higher air energy. And then you have Libra, which is air, but they're all about people and having a relationship and having a partner. So, and they love art and beauty, and they like to compromise, but they need other people. Aquarians don't need other people. They're kind of living in their own little world and space, and they don't want anyone to possess them. They want their freedom. So it's all about revolutionary energy. They like to revolutionize things. That's what Aquarians do. So Pluto intensifies all of that Aquarius energy because it's in that sign for 20 years. I mean, it's going to affect all of us for a long time. And it's really interesting because, UFOs, aliens, the drones. I mean, we've been seeing this all over the TV, right? And it's just amazing. And now they came out recently and said that it was not, it wasn't an enemy. It was us. But, I mean, people are seeing things in the sky, and all these things. But the cool thing is that what to expect during this time is really um a total change on the deeper level, on the collective level. Like it's a shift. It's a new pattern that we don't know. It's just going to continually play out, as we go. And some other major things that this year, I would say, in my opinion, astrologically, a lot of astrologers saying this is like the most intense and transforming year that they've had it for a long, long time, astrologically.
You can
Yeah.
feel it. You can really feel it. Let me ask you this. What age did we just move from? And what
Yeah.
was that age supposed to
That's
reflect
cool.
at us?
Absolutely. We were in the Piscean age. So if you think
Mm.
about it, there's the song, The Dawning of the Age of Aquarius and everything. So a lot of this astrology is in the Bible. It's in different religions from the beginning of time. So when you realize that astrology is throughout the Bible. I mean, there's videos about this. I'm going to give you some basics. So if you think of Christianity, when Jesus would walk the earth, that's when we started the age of Pisces. And that's why Christianity's symbol is the fish, because Pisces is their symbol is the fish, the fishes, two of them. On the claws of the
I've
fish.
seen,
Yes,
yes, I've seen fish.
yes,
I never knew what that was about.
yes.
I never understood
That's
that.
Pisces.
That's
That's Pisces. And this goes back to even, ancient times before pre-Christianity. Astrology is in the book of Genesis. In the holy temples in Jerusalem, they would have the 12 zodiac signs. And the 12 signs are for the 12 sons of Jacob. There's 12 disciples, the number 12. There's all these things. But the really cool thing is that the fixed signs of the zodiac are in the book of Revelation, and they're throughout Catholic churches throughout the world. I used to live in Germany. I go to all these different churches. Even here in St. Louis, you go in there and there's like Jesus, Mary, and there's the symbols of the 4 astrological signs that are the fixed signs of the zodiac, which are Aquarius and Leo and Scorpio and Taurus. And Aquarius is the face of the man, or the man holding the alabaster jar of water, pouring it. Okay, that's a symbol of your sign. And your opposite's Leo, the lion, the face of a lion. And then the ancient symbol of Scorpio was the eagle. It's the higher octave of Scorpio. And so the eagle, you'll see the eagle in the churches. And then the opposite is the bull, which is Taurus. This is astrology and astronomy. And so I'm like, and I used to, I started digging into this when I was 19, I'm like, okay, why? Why is all of this this is astrology, but, nobody talks about it. So pretty much what happened was Christianity, we've been in the age of Pisces. Okay. And this is what's cool. In the New Testament, the disciples asked Jesus, when will we know you'll return? And the Sermon on the Mount, he said, follow the man with the alabaster jar in the house he dwells.
oh,
It chills.
so that's
It gives me,
Aquarius.
yes. The age of Aquarius, which we're in now. And, everyone has different beliefs, whether you're religious, Christian, Jewish, or you are New Age. It's symbolic. A lot of people say the Bible's symbolic of the journey of the higher self. Jesus was telling them to follow the Aquarian age. That's where you will connect with me. And he said, these and greater things you can do. He said, we can do what he does. But no one, so there's beliefs in that it's about awakening, that humanity will awaken to their true nature, that they're a soul and that they're a higher self, and that Jesus was trying to teach this to people on a basic level. And
That's exactly what I have talked to many people about now, and what I have read myself, and things of that nature, that, when Jesus was saying things like, follow me, or I am the way, or whatever, he was basically saying, hey kids, do what I'm
yeah,
doing.
yeah,
Look, be like me. Look what I can do. You can do
yeah,
this too,
yeah,
kids. Just,
yeah,
like, he wasn't saying follow me, worship me, devote churches to me. He was saying you have the ability for Christ consciousness
yes,
within. Be like me. I am the light. The light is the way. You have,
yes.
So there's just so many
I'm like, well,
misinterpretations of what it just got very scrabbled. I will say this. I do feel absolutely, me being a prime example, coming from being an atheist, not just a few years ago, and gradually becoming more spiritual and getting more and more and more into this, and creating this podcast and starting to talk about it. I feel that there is a great awakening that is happening on this planet. I think that people are starting to understand that we are more powerful than we think we are, that there is more going on within our reality than we
yes,
know, and that people are starting to become very
yeah,
disenchanted with what our lives are, and what they've become broken down to is, we now, not to get into politics, but I feel like we give away our time, our energy, our effort to being a cog
Yeah.
in a wheel instead of understanding that we're all beings of light, that we're all here for a sole purpose, that we could
Yeah.
really start leaning into cooperation and away from um competition. Like
Yeah.
there's we need to inject an awful lot more love
Yeah.
into this,
Yeah.
this consciousness. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do this shit today to talk about all of these changes coming up, because I also feel like there's a lot of people that are filled with fear right
Yes.
now. There
Yes.
is a lot of
Yeah.
fear. And I think that people don't understand that we all are
Oh,
connected.
yeah.
Our energies are
Oh, yeah.
connected on a lot of
Yeah.
levels. And that when you have millions of people that are feeling
Yes.
anxiety, that are feeling
Thanks, God.
fear, that are feeling anger, bad things can really come from that.
Yes.
And I really want to inject this idea of like understand what's going on, uh be prepared as
Sure.
you possibly
Sure.
can, but to get too sucked in down to the fear mongering that is upon us
Yeah.
is, I would say, try your best to avoid those
Yes.
at all costs.
Yeah.
You're not doing yourself any good by living in fear.
Yeah.
You're just
It's
not.
kinda like, the biggest tip I give for everyone right now, because everyone is being affected. It help even me knowing astrology, I know these things, I look at what's going on, but you still are human, we're still impacted, and we still have to be disciplined, and we can only control one thing, and that is our mind, what we think, and our reactions. And so all over it's all over the news, it's over social media, all this stuff. And it's the energy. It's a intense energy of change that people feel. And as humans, we don't like change. We want stability, comfort, and we want to know we got a paycheck. We want to know we can eat, pay our bills, and do what we love to do and be happy and watch Netflix. And, we don't want to be forced to change unless we choose it. And even then, it's hard for people to make changes when they know they need to because of fear. And I have this exact thing lately. I've been telling a friend of mine that, I know in my heart what I want to do with my life and my work and my future. The only thing it's preventing me was fear. It's fear of the unknown. But
Yeah.
we have to trust your intuition. You have to listen to your gut, and no one can make choices for you. So my advice is to tap into and trust and have faith. And this leads into another major astrological thing that happened and why this is so important. So, um, the nodes of the moon is what we call it in astrology. And I got a new book out, Astrology's Magical Nodes of the Moon. And these are the nodes, north node, south node, guys. And the thing about the nodes is they are the most important thing in your birth chart, in your astrology chart. And the north node is your soul mission this lifetime. The south node is your past lives, which you've already mastered. And you're here to balance this. And so I have hundreds of people ask me, what is my soul purpose? Why am I here? This is what most people want to know. What am I doing here? The way to know is to know your north node of the moon, what sign it's in, what house it's in. That is what your soul came here to master. Everyone has a different birth chart. When you start getting into the nodes, guys, this is a simple guide that we explain it for anyone that doesn't know astrology. Our book is for people that don't know astrology. It's simple, practical. It will help you. It'll just validate what you already know in your heart that you want to do. You're like, oh my God, this is what I've always wanted to do. And this is my north node. It's going to validate for you. That's all astrology does, is validate what you already know about your soul and yourself. And it gives you those tips and that extra, education and advice to say, okay, this is why I'm feeling this way. And then it gives you tips. We give you tips on how to get into your node. So that's first, that everyone has nodes in their chart. The nodes are in the sky right now as well. So when you're born, the nodes, it's a mathematical calculation that astrologers do based on the moon, the cycles of the moon. So every 18 months, the nodes of the moon in the sky change signs. This is astronomy. So astrology. So we had the nodes for 18 months. The nodes of the moon were in Aries and Libra. Okay. Until January 11th, 2025, the node shifted into Pisces and Virgo. So this is huge.
Oh boy.
Pisces, we were just talking
Yeah.
about, was the Piscean age. It's the spiritual sign. It's the sign of connecting to a higher power, the collective unconscious, higher levels of consciousness, meditation, spirituality, going within your higher self. And so the North Node is in Pisces, guys, and the South Node's in Virgo in the sky right now for the next 18 months. That's over this whole year. Okay, 2025.
What ramifications other than spiritual enlightenment, like that makes a lot of
Well,
sense, doesn't it? Because I do feel like we are in that zone. There's so many people, even just, I only have really my experience to go by, but my own awakening. And so many of my friends in the movie industry are also going through their own kind of dark night
yeah,
of the soul with losing their
yeah,
careers, losing who they are, losing their identity, searching for other ways to find the light. And
yeah.
they are looking, a lot of my friends are talking to me now about my own
Oh,
experience, and I'm giving them advice of how to. I will say
yeah,
this, just
sure.
sidebar, 5 minutes. I'm going through a lot right now. I haven't worked since July. I'm going to run out of money.
Yeah.
The fires this year were like scared me to the
Yes,
core. I, I have a lot going
yes,
on. More, I am trying to reinvent myself. There's so many things that I have going
mhm,
on and so many unknowns in my life
yeah,
right now. And if I wasn't in the middle of this spiritual awakening and this knowing and listening to my
yeah,
internal guidance more than I ever have in my life, I would probably be scared out of my mind. I would be like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose my career. And I'm not doing any of
yeah,
that. I'm not spinning
good,
out. I'm not even really that unhappy. I'm kind of just moving through with this
yeah,
like really internal feeling inside that I know that I'm on my right
yes,
path. I know that it's not revealing itself right now. I don't have all the answers. I don't know how I'm going to make money
yeah,
next month. I don't know anything. But I live very very much in the now. And my life is pretty good in the
yeah,
now. As long as I don't launch myself
sure,
too far down the
sure,
path, which quite frankly isn't going to serve me to worry about
exactly.
anyways. I
Mm,
I live in the now. I live in this moment, and I am constantly living in gratitude. I have
yeah,
so much to be thankful for, and I am really confident that if I stay in my higher
yeah,
vibration, that if I stay in alignment of
yeah,
receiving, if I stay in my head of knowing that the universe is going to support me and not being
yeah.
fearful. It's the only way that I know to get through something like
Well,
this. It really is. You
yeah,
can't think about 2
no,
months from now. You just gotta live right in the
in the
now.
present.
And so far, things are starting to unfold
Yeah,
for me. Doors are
yes,
opening. I'm getting opportunities to do things that I've never done before. And I just have to
yeah,
sit back and relax and say, okay, I'm going to be the vibration. I'm going to be in attraction
yes,
alignment mode and not be in a fear-based
yes,
mode, because that's not going to bring me anything,
absolutely. And
you
I'll be
know?
honest with you, there's what you're saying is the nodes that are going on, because Virgo is all about worry, wanting to control things. It's about service to others, though, helping people, but it's about all the things in the material world that we have to do: have a routine, pay our bills, eat, sleep, take care of our body, health. And then Pisces is the opposite. They have faith. They're idealistic. Virgo is a pessimist. They're critical. They overanalyze. Pisces trusts. They have trust and imagination and faith. So we are in this, we have to balance our trust and faith and minimize our worry and obsession about how we don't know what we're going to do. So it's all about believing and knowing. So we're also learning to focus on helping others and developing boundaries and learning to take care of ourselves spiritually, mentally, and physically, and in all of the pillars. That is what the next 18 months are about. and trusting your intuition, because Pisces is psychic, intuitive. They roll the 12th house, which is all about dreams, spiritual gifts, intuition, empathy, being empathic, trusting that inner voice. And the problem is we taking action can be hard sometimes, because we may feel and know what we want to do, but it's fear of change that is going to be testing us this year. So if you start getting in, we're going to get into the Virgo, but what if it doesn't work out? But I can't make money doing that. All the negative talk. And Pisces is the North Node. We're supposed to be like, no, I'm turning to a higher power. I'm turning to my higher self. I'm letting go of my angels, my guides, whatever you believe in, asking the universe to provide, and doing those manifestations and intentions and affirmations, and trying to really connect to spirituality. That is the nodes.
Yes.
It's the nodes of service. We have to serve other people and help each other in the next 18 months. That's what our focus should be.
100%. Another thing happened, I believe it was on January 25th, not too long ago, that there was an alignment in the planets, that they aligned for the first time, and I don't know how long.
Oh yeah.
What exactly did that mean? What is that bringing forth anything that we should be concerned about?
I know, for what I know, they all aligned in the second house, which is, the money and financial house. So it also messes with the 8th house. The second and 8th houses are the money and financial houses. Second house is your money, how you make money. 8th house is other people's money, the goods of the dead, inheritances, all this. Lots of powerful. So I think there's a lot of fear around survival things. Second house is all about, how do I survive and have the basic needs on Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid? Do you have food? Do you have water? Do you have a roof overhead? Do you have enough money to survive? I think it triggered this thing with people are worrying about surviving. The price of, eggs are talking about now $12 because of the bird flu. All of these things are affecting our sense of security. That's what that alignment did too, because it's just a lot of intense, all the planets have an energy, and it was just kind of awaken the area of life that it was in, is how I interpret it. Every astrologer would probably tell you something different, but that's my opinion. And so we're in this very intense time with these nodes changing, with Pluto being in Aquarius, and then Mars. Okay, Mars has been messing with people because Mars has been retrograde in Cancer, and it's going to be till the end of February. Then it's gonna go back into Leo, and what it's going to do is, Mars is the planet of war, the planet of aggression, passion, sexuality, accidents. Okay, and Mars is going to be affecting all of us. So I'm saying Mars makes you rush. It makes you impulsive. And right now it's in Cancer, so it's making everybody feel really and it's just like this, the energy's blocked. When a planet's retrograde, it means that energy's like turned inward. So when it goes direct, we're going to feel a little better. But anytime a planet goes retrograde or direct, something happens. And Uranus just went direct today, which we're talking today is what, January 30th? That's today. Uranus, the planet of unexpected changes and change. It's kind of like Pluto, but it rules Aquarius. And Uranus also is associated with astrology, space travel, all these things, technology. So it is going to have a major change coming up this year too. So I'm going to talk a little about that. And then I want to talk about the eclipses too, because we have a lot of eclipses, and the eclipses are going to trigger a lot of changes in our lives. So I'm going to give you the dates of those. So the other big thing is Uranus is going to change signs. And anytime an outer planet, those big planets that move real slow, change signs, it's like a new era. It's a new age, so it's a new cycle. And Uranus is going to go into Gemini on July 7th. 2025.
Okay.
And it will remain there until 2032. And World War II happened the last time Uranus was in Gemini.
Oh, that was not
Yeah,
great news
I
to
got good
listen
news. I
to.
mean, let me give you a little good with this.
Okay.
You know, we talked about Aquarius. Uranus is about rebelling, revolutionary thinking, not following what society and authority wants us to do. So there's going to be this vibe of people standing up for their rights, for other people's rights, for what they believe in very passionately. And that's what my prediction is. And how we fight in wars is going to change. It's going to become more innovative, and we're going to be using a lot more technology. I mean, they're even talking about using robots as pilots, so we
Ugh.
don't lose the lives of real pilots. There's all these things
Yeah.
that are going to happen that during the next several years. I mean, we're talking about a lot of time, guys. And it's okay. It's
Well,
okay but we have to get used to this fast-paced technology thing that's going to happen. I'm afraid. I think it's going to be really hard for some people.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much you're on TikTok, but
Yeah, I post a little
I'm
bit
on
once
it,
a while to, and I'm not like I'm bigger
you
on
know.
Facebook, but that's because I'm older. I think I'm trying to get on.
I mean, I've been on, TikTok a little bit these last few weeks. I have time on
Yeah,
my hands, I'm not gonna lie,
yeah.
but there is, I don't know how many people out there know this, but from what I've been watching on TikTok, there are a lot of places in the world right now that are doing massive protests for our country, for the US, for us.
Um,
And there has and it's
yeah,
not getting shown on
yeah,
our
yeah, yeah,
TV. The mainstream media isn't covering it, but there's places all over the world that are marching not only for our
yeah.
country but for their own, for this rise of this alt-right fascism. And I think the election this year really put people on their toes about what could possibly happen in the good old USA. And I do think that people are starting to band together and unite, understanding that maybe we have been heavily censored, heavily programmed, heavily propagandized, and now I think people are starting to understand
All of that
it's
social
happening.
media and technology and
Yeah.
changes and new things like I mean, everything is changing with how we communicate.
Like the technology, everybody like says, "Oh, it's amazing. We're progressing so fast." I feel like it has not been good
Yeah,
for humanity. It's been at a detriment. It's made us stupid. It's made us not think for ourselves. We don't know each other's phone numbers. We don't know how to
I
get
know.
from point A to point B.
You can't even hardly do anything without a phone. You have to
Can't.
pay your bills. Everything is technology now. Sometimes you
Yep.
can't even do anything without a credit card. I mean,
Yep.
it's like
Yeah.
if we're already in this, and if we don't follow it, we're going to be in the Stone Age, and we're not going to be able to survive in the real world.
Yeah. You get left
It's
behind. You will
technology
get left.
explosion is
Yes.
what's happening,
Yep.
and guys, it's
Yep.
going to be
Yep.
more
Yep.
and more and more
Yeah.
this year, and the
It's
next 20
true.
years, really.
Eh,
Pluto and Aquarius, guys. We
Yeah.
gotta. If I recommend listeners to read everything you can about Aquarius, about Uranus, the sign Uranus and Aquarius and Pluto, and you'll understand why you're feeling the way you are. The reason the
Yeah.
energy is so electric and it's so unsettling
Yes.
and it's so
Yes.
and chaotic.
Chaotic.
It's
It feels,
chaos,
yes.
but guess what, guys? It's an illusion because you have to go within and ground your energy. So this is big. With everything going on, some people cannot handle the energy of it. And that's when we have bad things happen. So I always advise everyone to ground your energy, meditate, do grounding exercises, whatever you have to, breathe exercises, meditation, guided, what if you don't like to sit in silence, do a audio. Get in your body and ground yourself, and you have to take deep breaths, and you have to still your nervous system because it's a trauma response. People are having trauma responses, and they're getting triggered. And then their whole body feels sick, and it's like they're anxious. They don't feel good. They're getting it, and headaches, and all of this is normal. This energy is affecting us all the same way, but the only thing that's going to help us is to ground and to breathe and to still ourselves and to go
Yeah.
within and listen to our gut instincts. Guys,
Yes.
it's like that saying, God helps those who help themselves. You have to okay, you can sit here and pray all day for someone to help you, but you have to take steps in the real world to try to get a job. Maybe you need to create a resume.
Yep.
Okay, maybe you need to actually apply and hit send. We have, and then the universe will bless us and give us what we want. The law of manifestation. And it's not fake. People think, oh yeah, hocus pocus stuff. No, thoughts are things. What we
Yes.
think,
Yes.
we can create. It's like they
Yes.
prove that the mind body connection. And then we have all these famous, authors and people that, in The Secret, and they learned that this stuff works. But the problem is our mind, and they still got to practice it because oh, we can't have that. There's no way, that's unrealistic. You get into this negative self-talk, and Aquarius and Uranus are all about, you can do anything. Anything is possible. It's like about exploration. Okay, how do
Yes.
Pluto and Aquarius is like, we're going to be in Uranus and Gemini, which is all coming this year, is all about, we could have civilizations and live on different planets. This is the kind of energy, guys. It's
Yes.
like the movie The
Yeah.
Fifth Element. You remember when it came out in the 90s? It's like, holy cow, man,
Yes.
people are driving in flying cars and all this stuff. That could be us in the next 20 years. It could be
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. If we don't all burn down, like, I do think sometimes, I do think there's an awakening, there's a rethinking of society, there's a lot of changes that are going to come upon us, and with change sometimes things need to get broken, smashed, rethought.
Well,
It
it's a book
and
of Revelation.
sometimes
It's
yeah.
symbolic. The book of Revelation's
y-
symbolic of the age of Aquarius, of all of the earth changes. These things have been predicted from Native Americans from the beginning of time. The earth changes, all of these different teachings, it's that we're going to have this spiritual, the new earth is what they call it. Dolores Cannon writes
Yes.
a lot about her books about the new earth, um, and that there's nothing. And I love listening to her talk. I wish she was still with us. There's nothing to be afraid of. You have guardians, you have
Yeah.
angels that are with you from birth. You came here for a mission and purpose. She says some people came here to have a resting life. Their life is pretty simple, pretty basic. They don't really struggle. They just kind of get up, go to work, eat, sleep, and then die one day. Some people are here to completely be beat up and end up having to be spiritual to help other people, and we chose to, be weird and different, like me, and be into astrology since I was 16. I mean, I didn't choose that. It chose me. So, I was always born different. Yeah. We all have our reasons that our soul wanted to be here during this age, during this time.
Yeah.
And we have to help other people. That's the
Yep.
biggest thing that always comes through, is that we're here to help others. So the more we awaken and grow and open our minds up to these things, and we take care of ourselves and we be strong, so we can be strong for other people that when they go through their crisis. So we're here to serve
Yeah.
others in some way.
I I 100% agree. And I do think that we're going to see more and more people unite on much more of a global scale because people are awakening
Yeah.
to who and what
Yeah.
we are. And I think it's only going to get bigger. And I think what we're going to see out there from, I don't know if you want to call them overlords, oligarchs, whatever you want to call them. Um, I think they're going to do whatever they can to keep us divided, to distract us, to fill us full of fear, to anything they can do to prevent us from realizing the nature of our reality, the nature of who we are. So there's lots of things that I think that are going to end up breaking in this process. But I think what could be birthed or come out
Yeah.
of this dramatic change that we're probably going to see happen and unfold
Yeah.
this year, I think that a lot of beautiful things
Yeah.
can come from it. And I hope that people can hold on to that rather than get sucked into the chaos, to the the unfamiliarity or things that are
Yeah.
unknown. Although my mom always used to say, nobody likes change but a baby. And she's
Yes. Yeah.
right. Nobody does like change, but if you can embrace it as it's only change, I am safe. It's
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
change, I am
Yeah.
safe. That is something that you can kind of hold
Yeah.
on to,
Yeah.
because I'm embracing these changes. I feel like I'm going through my own dramatic
Yeah.
change
Yeah.
myself, and it's
Yeah.
unfolding, and I don't know what's coming up
Yeah.
for me, but I am open-hearted, and I'm not scared, and I know I'm on my path.
Yeah.
That's all you can
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, the thing is that some of these chaotic energies are also forcing us to realize that there's more to life than the material world. Money and possessions mean nothing. What matters
yeah,
is our lives, our family, our friends, and love, and that we're alive. I was watching some people that had been through the fire, like you said, there in California, and one of
mhm,
Mel Gibson. I'm not that big a fan of him, but I was watching him on a show, and he's like, I lost everything. Whole house burned down and everything, and he was saying that it's just like it makes you realize what's really important. And
yeah,
like for anyone that has a crisis, I had a friend that their house burned down years ago, and it was in 2008 or something like that. It's an awful feeling because you lose all your
yep,
possessions. But
yep,
possessions are replaceable. You you can't
yes,
replace, your life, your soul, your health, your
yep,
peace.
yep,
So it's about forgiveness. We're supposed to forgive and let
yeah,
go of the past. That's what Pluto makes you do. It makes you feel all the bad stuff, and it opens up wounds, and it opens up Pandora's box, and fear, and pain, and people that have hurt you, and anger, and all this stuff, and it makes you feel it. And then you're supposed to purge it. It's the purging planet. It purges everything that doesn't belong anymore. Rebirth.
I
Rebirth.
um I will say, it number one, I kind of am looking forward to the next phase in our evolution where we do let go of materialism, where we do
Yeah.
understand that, whether it be the size of the house that you live in, or what the label says on your
Yes.
clothes, or
Yeah.
this status
Yeah.
driven materialism, I gotta have bigger, better, more,
Yeah.
that's gonna make me feel good in the moment,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm looking forward to that phase of our
Yeah.
existence being on the other end of behind
Sure.
us, and looking forward to a time where we're not focused on the materialism, but we are focused on our spiritual selves, on our own development, on our sole
Yeah.
purpose, on why we're here, in connecting more
Yeah.
and forming community. And I think that that's what it's really
Yeah.
all we're supposed to be doing here. It's not supposed to be you're a slave to a job for 50 years, and then you get maybe 10 years if you're lucky of good times, and then you die. Like, that's what our lives are kind of like. We're cogs and wheels
Yeah.
now,
Security.
where we live in survival
Yes.
mode. We live in a world where we're not able to think for ourselves because, number one, we're too distracted with trying to like go to work and raise a
Yeah.
family and
Live.
get
Survive.
Sally the
Survive. Yeah.
yeah, it's survival mode. And I really think we need to start living more the way we were supposed to live, which is closer to
Yeah.
nature, closer to the earth, being more of a
Yeah.
sustainable living
Yeah.
model, and this
Yeah.
consuming for this capitalistic infinite growth model that we've decided that we are going to, all cherish, that has really degraded our planet,
Yeah.
that has degraded our lives, and that is not the system that we should be living under. There's got to be a
No.
better system out there,
Well,
kids. There
yeah.
just has to be,
So, hey, what's your
So
thoughts on aliens and extraterrestrial life?
here's here's my thoughts. I do think that when you were speaking on all this
Yeah.
change that is going to be coming upon us with the new age of Aquarius, I think part of that change with that's going to come is that we are going to n- come to the realization that we should have come to decades ago, that we are not
Yeah.
alone, that I think there's going to be open contact at some point, and I'm really seriously hoping that humanity can not our first, it seems like humans first gut reaction to everything is fear.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? There's just so much fear, we can't get
Yeah.
away from it,
Yeah.
you know. But I'm not fearful of aliens, and not that I think all aliens are our
Yeah.
friend. I'm
Yeah.
sure there's good and bad in everything in the world. We live in a
Yeah.
dualistic, you know, environment. You got good and bad and black and
Yeah.
white and up and down. It's just
Yeah.
life. However, I do think that when aliens do make it known, I do think they are waiting for us desperately to evolve out of what we are now and to understand that there's a whole international galactic world out there that we are not a part of, because we're like the primates that can't seem to know how to treat each other. We're very violent. We're kind of barbaric. We have not evolved. We're not
Yeah.
heart-centered. We just I really think by
Yeah. Yeah.
nobody's fault, just by the way the world was
Yeah.
handed to us, in a way, by people that I don't think have everyone's best
Yeah.
interest, you know. But I think aliens and open contact is
Yeah.
upon us. I think it's going to help us get out into the intergalactic world that is out there and launch us even more into the technology that's available. And I just want people to embrace that and not, I really feel like our government is going to say that when the aliens come, they're here to harm us, they're here to take over, because that's just like, we feel like everyone's out to get us.
Yeah.
Like, we feel like
Yeah.
everything's automatically bad, and oh, they want to take over. Even like, little side note about TikTok, when they took down the TikTok for 12 hours, people went to this place called Red Note.
Cool.
Red Note is the Chinese version
Are
of
you
TikTok.
serious?
And do you know what they discovered on that little journey? This is what they discovered. They discovered that people in China are not slaves and working in a sweatshop. They work one job a year. They get a pension. You can buy a brand new car for $15,000. That they feel sorry for us, that we don't get free health care, that we don't have free universities. They look at us like we're the third world country.
Jeez.
And Chinese people and Americans started talking to each other on this Red
Oh, I
Note
didn't know
app,
that.
and they started, oh,
Wow.
it's that's why I'm saying, like, it's happening. There's a movement happening on TikTok that
Wow.
if you're not on TikTok, go go do hashtag World Unite, or go do hashtag Red Note or
And
something,
TikTok's up
and you
now though,
will.
right? It's back. It's back, right?
It's back, but it's now under Meta's control.
Oh, is
So
it?
it's not the same algorithm. Yeah,
Interesting.
there's like,
This
it's
is your
it's a
random. This is
whole
Pluto and Aquarius, man. This is just like exactly
and
what it is.
it's some crazy stuff. So you have the protesters protesting for our country. It's not
It's-
being televised here. And you have Americans talking to Chinese people and figuring out that actually it's us that people feel sorry for. It's actually us that they're like, "Oh yeah, you guys blah blah blah." And the Chinese people seem to be having really nice, normal lives where they only have to work one job, and they have fully functional infrastructure. They live in modern cities. Like, our infrastructure sucks. Why aren't we taking a train from New York to Arkansas? Why don't we have, high-speed rail in this country that would open up and revolutionize? Because they don't. We've been living with the same
yeah,
infrastructure,
yeah,
Carmen, that we got 100 years ago.
man.
Like,
Maybe
we get nothing for being for our money. We get nothing. We work to the day we die. We're slaves in a cog, and people are starting to understand that we have been fooled. They've made us only dumber in the last 40 years, not smarter. And now you have a lot of dumb, uneducated, poor, unsophisticated, unworldly. We don't travel, which is why we don't know what happens
yeah,
in other countries, because nobody
yeah.
travels here. So there's so many things like that TikTok is kind of
I
opening up
did.
for people, like, oh, maybe we're not what we thought we were, and maybe we've been led to believe a lie that isn't true.
Yeah, it's
It
scary.
is fascinating.
It's crazy because there's so much like how did we get this technology in the first place? That's what I'm how it came from somewhere. And I don't think it was
Well,
our little brains that knew it. Maybe it was extraterrestrials. I mean,
no.
I'm thinking it could have been from other I do believe that. It's like, look inside a computer and all the little how did they even figure that out? I mean,
They
inside a
so
phone.
there's a conspiracy theory out there that I'll just say very briefly that I have read several times that basically all of this technology came about during World War II when we started launching our atomic bombs in the air. Aliens came down and said, "Look, bitch, if you're not putting that shit out in
Oh, shit.
the universe, you're
No,
going to disrupt
no,
the timeline, you're going to disrupt the ether because people think that outside the earth it's dark, black,
yeah,
cold. Outside the earth atmosphere, it's alive with
yeah,
energy, it's ether, it's plasma,
yeah,
it's a living
yeah,
consciousness thing out
yeah,
there. It's not dark, cold,
yeah,
whatever. So they came down and they said, "Nah, nah, 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 nah. We've seen you guys blow
yeah.
yourselves up before. We're not doing that again. You're not putting nuclear weapons into the universe to disrupt the timeline out there." And from what the story is, the government said, "Fine." They were like, "Look, we'll give you technology. We'll give you this. We have free energy. We'll give you free energy." And they're like, "No, no, no, no. We can't do free energy here. It'll disrupt our economy," which is basically government saying, "Oh, no, no, no. We want to make the money from oil because it's the only reason we haven't got enough oil is because so few people make so much money from it. We're not getting off of it." That is why. There's no other reason why. That's why. They're like, "Wait, we got free energy." And they're like, "No, no, no. We can't do that." And they said, "Well, what we can do is we'll work with you. We'll give you some technology, but we are going to take some of your citizens and do a little scientific blah
Oh,
blah," which is why you see all this people getting like
all
taken
the
by aliens,
all the
all the
abductee,
things.
survivors apparently.
Exactly. They're like, "We're going to take some citizens. We're going to do some testing. We're going to look at their genetics. We're going to do some DNA stuff. And if you let us do that, we're going to give you a little bit of technology." And that's kind of where uh the the internet kind of boosted from
Yeah.
that. And apparently the other conspiracy thing is that it all happened in Antarctica, that there is an underground base
Wow.
there. And that's why
Oh, on
you
like
see all these
X-Files.
people.
On X-Files, they were out in weren't they out in the snowy Antarctica and they
Mm,
found the alien in the
that's right.
frozen, anyway.
Exactly right. That's where that writer got that story from. There is a
Oh
story
my
out
god.
there that they're in Antarctica, that there's a base there, and that is why you see that's why you have a no-fly zone
Huh?
there, and that is why you have different countries vying for control of Antarctica
Wow.
because of what exists there. So,
They
that's
look
my
pretty
conspiracy
scary if that's
theory of
really
the
how they
day.
look. I'm like, "Whew."
I
Yeah.
mean,
I
I
don't
don't
like
know.
it. Hmm.
I think aliens are going to be coming for us because I do think there's going to be, with the world wars already that we have with
Yeah,
Ukraine and with Israel, and who knows
yeah,
what else is going to happen with just the
yeah.
chaos that is among us right now. I think aliens are not far. They're not going to let us blow up
No.
our own planet again.
It
I can tell you
reminds
that.
me of that
So,
of this it's kind of weird. I had a dream years and years ago, and it was about UFOs, and it
mm,
still it haunts me to this day because it seems so real, but I think I dreamed it, like, in 2012, so it's been a long time,
okay.
and in the dream, I was out in this field with all these, women and children, and there were no men. This is weird. Anyway, all I saw I saw these UFOs, bunch flying in the sky, and fighter jets were chasing them, okay? Go across the sky, and then the UFO came right above and were wanted to take us with them, like, just to help us or whatever. So I climbed on this weird ladder up into this spaceship, and I woke up as I went
Oh,
in. And I'm like, "What the hell was that?" I was like, I dreamed this out of the blue in 2012. I wasn't watching any weird movies. I wasn't anything, guys. And I wrote him. I never have forgotten that dream. It's like a real memory. That's how vivid it was when I woke up. It's like it was real. And
okay.
oh,
I I want to tell you another one of my conspiracy theories that I've read over the years, and it rings true for your dream. And I think I read it in one of
oh
Dolores
yeah.
Cannon's
Okay.
books. I want to say I've read like 4 of her
Yeah.
books now. I think I got it from one of her books. But this is what I remember her saying, that there will come a time in our history when our timelines would split,
Yeah.
and that people that are on the path of enlightenment, they're more spiritually
Yeah.
knowledgeable, they're vibrating higher, that those people will get saved by aliens, and we will be brought aboard something that will
Wow.
shelter us from what happens here on planet Earth, because there's going to be a division. You're either going to ascend to like 4D,
Ascension.
5D, or you're going to stay down in 3D level, which is going to be very chaotic, very dark, war, greed, um, hatred, and that there's going to be aliens that come and help the humans that want to start anew and live in harmony and peace, and evolve and go,
It makes
you know,
sense. I mean,
ascend. So
I
that's,
never knew about her until about 5 years ago. So I had this dream before I started reading her stuff when I found out about her.
yeah,
Wow.
that's what she's saying, that the timeline, in fact, you know, she does say that we are in the time of the splitting of the timelines, and that we are going to be, some of us are going to ascend into another dimension, and others are going to be left behind because they're still living in their, lower
Yes.
vibrational, don't want to change, don't want to evolve, want to hold on to their greed, want to hold on to their power, want to hold on to the old ways of the world. And we are in the new age of
I
Aquarius.
know.
It is time to open up and change and
Yeah.
evolve and bring in a new way of
Yeah.
being. And it's upon us, but I think it's going to be a rocky, rocky road.
It's gonna be painful.
All
Yeah,
right.
it's gonna be painful,
It's
but
it
we
is
have to be strong and we have to
yeah,
ground our energy. We have to not let
yeah,
it affect our peace and our mind and our
yeah.
emotions. We have to get control of our own self. And
I
self-care, I
agree.
guess is the word. Self
Yes, yes. Protect your own central
yeah,
nervous system from the chaos, the
yeah,
energy that is
yeah.
around us. Okay, we're up on
Oh,
an
yeah.
hour. I do have a birthday coming
Yes.
up on the 3rd, and I'm wondering if there's anything in
Yeah.
there maybe that you could pick up. Am I going to get a job
Let me
this
let
year?
me look.
Am I going to be homeless?
Yeah.
Like, what am I?
Let me look real quick. Let me look at this.
I am curious. I am curious about what your thoughts on aliens are. I
Mm.
give you my thoughts, but like you never said what your thoughts were.
Um, have you seen that movie Taken, the series Taken by Steven Spielberg that was on the Sci-Fi Channel, like, back in the 2000s, like, 25 years ago?
No.
I
Mm-mm.
kinda believe in that a little bit where they are some of our DNA is it is them.
Oh yeah, I
Like
agree that.
like,
I
they were
agree with that.
they had it was like they followed since the Roswell crash, and it was a miniseries, so it's not all true, but it was based with truth. So, the alien that survived the crash, there was an alien survived the Roswell crash that went and they could appear human. So, he fell in love with
Hmm.
the lady, they had kids, then it's like they followed the generation of this bloodline, and they all were being abducted and taken throughout their whole generation. So, in one of the episodes, the dad is on the ship, and he looks over and sees his son there too. And so he realized his son, and he had divorced, wasn't with his son and ex-wife, realized his son was being taken. So anyway, in the end, the whole it had Dakota Fanning in it when she was little. It was little Dakota Fanning, and little blonde. She was so cute. Anyway,
Yeah.
she had powers because they were trying to genetically make us where we were loving and kind and scientific, because they were very scientific, but they didn't have the emotional part we had. So they made her where she could stop time. Like, she had all these powers. They finally created her what they were trying to do through that generation of the family. Her mother had being taken, her dad, her grandpa, or great grandpa. So it was interesting. So,
It is
like,
interesting. I mean, there's so many conspiracy
I'm
theories out
open-minded. I
about
mean,
like,
I'm open-minded. Um, I saw a UFO in 1995 in the sky, and I had my friend with me, and the only way how to explain it is that the sky opened up yellow over I-44 in Missouri, Rolla, Missouri, and there was a full moon, clear sky. I pulled the car over, got out, and stood under it, and other cars pulled off. It was like it hung across the sky, a yellow saucer shape. I don't know. But for my eyes, it's like it shrunk and disappeared. Boom.
I
I can't.
mean,
That changed my life too. That was 2 years after I had a glowing ball light in my doorway. That's why I got into astrology.
I mean, I remember
Yeah.
that story. I love that story. And I do you feel that maybe people that have, I talk to so many people now through this podcast that have these amazing
Yeah, yeah,
experiences, and almost all of them have like just,
yeah,
I don't know, like they experience metaphysical
yeah,
phenomenon, and it feels like if your maybe your antenna, maybe your pineal gland
mm,
is like antennaed, like to really focus
yeah,
in and be able to receive that kind of information
yeah,
and see that kind of
yeah,
stuff. Um,
yeah,
I'm not that lucky. I would love to have spidey senses or see a
yeah.
UFO. I have a very good friend of mine, like one of my best friends since I was 5 years old, and he's had two UFO
Wow,
experiences, two, and a near death experience.
that's powerful too.
So,
That's powerful. So
yeah,
I'm looking
yeah.
at your chart. Let me save it real quick. Um, when you want to see what's going on, what's affecting you, you want to look at what's called a transit chart. So what you do is the moment, time, place of your birth is your birth chart. It's like we take a picture of the sky. All the planets were in a certain star constellation, which we call the 12 signs. They were in a certain area of the sky, which we break into 12 sections, astrologers do. And then it's like we take a picture of the sky, and this is very, very simplistic, put it on a piece of paper, and we give it symbols, and it's a wheel with 12 sections. That's your birth chart. So to get a transit chart, we take a picture of the sky right now, and I put it on the outside of your birth chart. And that shows me where these planets are affecting you in every area of your life right now. And that's the transits are what we're feeling now. Just like Pluto's transiting Aquarius for 20 years. So Pluto, wherever Aquarius is in your birth chart, is where you're going to have this Pluto transit. So this is what I think is going to happen. I think you potentially could move. Yeah, I could
Really?
see you moving somewhere new. Somewhere new.
Oh,
Yes.
like out of the United States?
Possibly, yes, because, your south node is in the ninth house. So you've already been a traveler, an explorer. You've lived in other countries. You're drawn to foreign cultures, different religions, different things, different people. I could definitely see that because Mars is transiting your ninth house right now, which is all about foreign travel, learning something new, going somewhere. But no, what it is Pluto. Pluto in Aquarius is sitting right on your fourth house cusp, which is your home house. It's called the IC. It's where you live. There's going to be a change in where you live. Is my prediction. You have to tell me, what happens. And it,
I,
yeah,
I that just scared me because I have to tell you, like, I absolutely love where I live currently. And like I always tell my mom, like, I just am so at peace
yeah,
here. I have a lot of turmoil going on, and I'm so glad that I live somewhere that is peaceful,
yeah.
that gives me peace, that and the thought of having to leave where I live
It's
seems
gonna
very
be
foreign to
it's
me
gonna
right
be
now.
karmic because it's gonna have to do with a job. Because
Oh,
whenever as soon as Pluto enters the fourth house, there's a couple things that can play out. There could be loss of a loved one, okay, a family member, someone close to you, because it's hitting your home where you're safe, where you're secure. And in your birth chart, your sun and moon and Mercury are all in the natal fourth house. So it could affect someone close to you. There's going to be a major life change and something's going to your whole family home life is going to be transformed. So that's why usually there's a big move. Like when Pluto went into my fourth house, I've already lived through a Pluto through the fourth house. You'll be okay. I already did it. But I lost my grandmother. I moved 3 times. I changed multiple jobs. It's going to be a new job is what I think is going to happen. An opportunity that might make you have to move. That's a
wow.
potential,
Wow.
and it's sitting right there. and it's in Aquarius, and it's going to move into the fourth house soon, in the fourth house, and it's going to be aspecting your sun, your moon, which is your main identity, your emotional nature, how you think is going to be completely changed.
I have
Yeah.
to tell you, Carmen, like, I really like, I know, number one, I was like, we're moving into
Yeah.
the age of the Aquarius. Like, I am as
You are.
Aquarius as you can get. You don't
Yeah,
get
yeah,
much more
yeah.
Aquarius
Yeah.
than me. And I've been through such turmoil the last
Yeah.
10 years. Last year was like the most tumultuous, mentally, physically challenging year I've
Yeah.
had. And I am just looking forward. As much as I knew there was going to be
Yeah.
transformation
Yeah.
happening this year, I was also looking for calm. I was looking for good times. I
Calm
was
this
looking
year?
for,
No. It's listen,
I can't take this craziness in my life anymore. I need some sort of stability just for a little
this
bit.
that's your nodes talking,
Uh,
because you're a
Oh my
south node
word.
Cancer, north node Capricorn. Capricorns want security, stability. They want money. They want an income. They want to be safe and secure. It's the Cancers want to have a secure, safe home, peace. It's your nodes of balance. You have the nodes. I don't know if I told you this before. You have the nodes that we talk about in the book, Astrology's Magic Nodes Moon. You have the
Yes.
nodes of family karma. So typically, this is
Okay.
something else that I see that could play out. I don't know anything about your personal life or your family life. People with your nodes often end up having to take care of one of their parents when they get older. Either move near them or move them in with you, or you have to be responsible for them in some way. Also, their property, their money, helping them in different ways. There's karma with your parents, with the family stuff. So that
Okay.
when Pluto might awaken you to get you into your soul mission, and it's going to awaken your fourth house of home and family. See, so it's going to all be connected. Everything going on for you right now, you're meant to go through this to get you into your soul mission.
I feel like I already been
No,
through some dark night of the soul stuff to get me to my
it
mission. I
doesn't have
feel
to
like I
be dark.
achieved
It's not
my
dark night. Don't. We're not going to say it's not going to be that. It's going to be. It's going to
Okay.
be. It's going to be. An. It's going to feel unsettling because it's change. It's gonna
Yeah.
come fast, it's gonna come unexpected, but I guarantee if you really sit and think about this, have you felt any kind of intense changes or any intuition that something's changing with where you live? Any vibe at all, any intuition or a thought and you just ignored it. You're like, "No, I love it here." I'm like,
If I had it, I might have ignored it, but I do find myself waking up in the morning, fixing my cup of coffee, and looking around at my place and saying, "I'm so glad I live here. It's just peaceful, and I feel most myself and at home here. I do." And the thought of me having
possibly maybe.
the one piece of stability that I have in my life, because like I don't have stable
Okay.
work. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
alone. I'm not
Yeah.
married.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm out here butt
Yeah,
flapping in
yeah,
the
yeah.
wind by myself. And the one thing I have is my peaceful solitude of home.
I think something's gonna happen on the home front, and it's gonna change your life.
Okay.
And it's gonna be meant to be. So I don't it's not a bad thing. And I also see you have Uranus has been in your 7th house of intimate relationships, partner, marriage, for 7 to 8 years it's been there. And it makes you want your freedom. It causes lots of changes and endings with partners. So when it leaves there, which is getting ready to leave there, I think that you might be able to meet someone and have a deeper relationship with someone that can benefit you financially as well, because it goes into the 8th
Oh,
house of other people's money, the partner, how they can help you financially, things like that. Okay. You also
that's
have
interesting.
Jupiter going through the 8th house, which is the planet of good luck and good fortune, abundance. So, and it's a good, and it's going through there and it's hitting Saturn, which is there's something karmic that's going to happen, something that's destined. And
Okay.
and another thing I want to share with you is there's something with you, like you need to teach. I was thinking this earlier. I mean, I don't know. You may like, I don't like to teach. You have the nodes of a teacher. You're meant to teach people, talk to people, communicate with people, which you're doing through the show, but you need to make money at it.
Yeah, I definitely am
Capricorn.
not
You
monetizing.
got to monetize because Capricorn, you're a Capricorn North node in the third house. And you have Jupiter sitting right there in Capricorn on the North node. And that you can have you can make money through doing anything, everything you're doing with communication, teaching, connecting with other people, anything with travel and teaching is third and ninth house. See, my North node is in the third house, just like you. We have a similar
Mm.
area of life we're meant to mission, is our soul mission, but we have a different way we're learning to do it. I have to be a Scorpio, you have to be a Capricorn. Capricorns are
Okay.
very, you're learning to, it's the karma, the family karma, but Capricorn, you're learning, you've already been nurturing, okay? You've already been motherly, sensitive, kind. You've had a lot of empathy, intuition. You're born with that from past life. This life, you're forced to be more practical, more realistic, and have to work a little harder to get where you want to go. Like you feel like it's like Capricorn's the goat that goes up the mountain and it's on the rocks and it falls and it gets back up, but it always makes the top. And so Capricorns are always known to have success later in life. It doesn't come easy to them.
It's interesting you say that because I feel like I am running uphill right now.
Yeah.
I do. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm running uphill to try and stay ahead of just being stagnated and not having other I am like trying to make opportunities happen
Yeah.
for myself. I am the busiest unemployed person you'll ever meet in your life. I am
Yeah.
working the system in every way to try and
Yeah.
evolve
Yeah.
with it. And I was really hoping 2025 was going to start having me settle into a more easy way of being. I have had it. I have not had it
Yeah.
easy, folks. I just haven't. I've worked
Yeah.
extremely
Yeah.
hard my whole
Yeah.
life. Like I've never, like when
Yeah.
you talk about a man coming to take care of me, I was like, well,
You
that
need
would
to
be
make
nice.
money. No, seriously, you need to benefit. You can benefit through other people's resources. Once Uranus hits the eighth, there could be inheritance. There could be something
Mm.
with a partner that they benefit you. They benefit you financially. You're also getting into that Capricorn node. If we have to do our node, and in the book, I can send you a copy. Did I ever send you a copy? I can send you a signed copy.
I
It's
I
a
haven't.
good
I
book.
read your book. I have
So
it.
if when
Hmm.
that Capricorn node, Capricorns are supposed to be, you're supposed to be a businesswoman.
Mm. I feel that.
You're
I do feel
supposed to
that.
make money working for yourself and being your own boss, being a lead, being an administrator, being in charge.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I feel
and
that.
you have good luck with it because you got Jupiter sitting right blessing you. But you got to find ways that you can do what you're doing, but make some money at it. And the book
Yep.
thing, you're writing books, that's third house. That's why I'm writing books. We love to write. Publish some books. Then you can teach some workshops about the books. These are ways you can make money, is it, in that third house north node. Sharing ideas with
All right.
people. That's what you're doing. Sharing that, I love being on podcasts with you, because this is my third house. I'm a third house north node too. I love to talk about all this stuff.
I mean, I really have felt like this podcast has been such a saving grace for me because if I didn't have it, everybody needs a reason to get up in
Yeah.
the morning.
Yeah.
Like I haven't worked since July. It has given me such
Oh, good.
purpose. I am busy all the time. I'm learning all the time. I'm reading books. I am exploring. I'm
Yeah.
asking questions. I'm having fascinating
Yeah.
discussions. I'm meeting amazing
Yeah.
people. Like, what is there not good about
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
situation? The money. That is the only thing that's
Yeah.
not good about this situation. I feel like if I were pulling a paycheck
Yeah.
doing this, and this could be something that could give me a lot of
Sure.
fulfillment, a lot of purpose. I feel like I could help a lot of people
Yeah.
awaken and get on their
Yeah.
own path. and not be so fearful and have
Sure.
more self-confidence and understand more about who
Sure.
they are. Love
Yeah.
doing all that. I would love to be able to
Yeah.
monetize that and turn this into something that was me teaching or me,
Mhm.
supporting myself in a similar fashion to what I have been supporting myself
Yeah.
in. Like, I need to make at least the same income that I was making in movies. I have to in order
Yeah.
to like fund my
Yeah. Yeah.
life. So I really felt like this year was going to be a year that I was going to achieve all those goals. That's what I felt like. I'm like, this is the year I'm going to get things on track. I've got, a couple of other balls up in
Yeah,
the
it
air that
could.
I'm like working on for creative. So,
Pluto's an Aquarius and it's opposing your 10th house of Leo. And it's gonna be affecting both your career and your home. So there could be growth and positive changes in your career. Pluto,
I love that.
I had to move, but then I got a good job. When Pluto transited my 4th, a lot of stuff happened in my work that shook it up, you know, but it doesn't mean you're gonna suffer. It just means that your home and career are gonna be transformed for 20 years. I mean, it's a long transit. I mean, it's gonna be going through there for a long time, in your home house. And I already went through
All
it, so
right.
I knew what happened, and I see clients all the time. So Pluto's sitting right there on your 4th house of your home and family. And you may not be feeling it
Ye-
quite yet, but it once it moves in, events happen, things change. You'll have to tell me, 'cause, yeah,
I
you'll have to tell
will.
me
I
what
mean,
what happens in
yeah,
the future here in about give it a couple months and see what happens. You might get unexpected
I'm
opportunity. I mean, that's Pluto, change, and growth, healing.
I mean, I would love unexpected opportunity. I am just really hoping,
Yeah,
for my highest and greatest good. I'm not going to live in
no,
fear. I'm not
no,
going to, I'm not even going to feel like, the changes that are coming upon me are going to be,
yeah,
maybe I'll be super happy about them. Maybe I'll be like, "Oh my
yeah,
god, I won the
yeah,
lottery. Woo!" Like, I hope it's that
yeah,
kind
yeah,
of change. I don't know how much strength I have inside of me right now to go through more gut-wrenching, terrible, awful transitions. I have just been
yeah,
through so much. I'm kind of
yeah,
at my wit's end
yeah,
with dealing. Because Carmen, I'll tell you, you don't know much about me, but I really am as tough as they come.
yes,
I have been through so much. I am as
yes,
tough
yes,
as they
I know it.
come. But man, I feel like I've been through the ringer enough and I am due some smooth years. I
Yes,
am I am due, man.
yes,
Please give me some smooth years that I don't have to gut it
yes,
out.
yes, yes,
Please. But,
mm,
at the end of the day, I will do what I always do
right.
and I will
Oh,
tough it out, suck it up,
yeah,
rise to the
yeah,
occasion, work really hard, whatever I got to do. But man, I've had some rough years and I was hoping for
yeah.
like
I think
smoother
yeah.
smoother ride, a little bit
I
smoother.
think that I think that a lot of the changes that are gonna happen are gonna be going on with, your family and your relatives, your ancestors, your things with your family is gonna take your attention.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's not like you're gonna be in a different whole new cycle. So it's
Wow.
it's not gonna be like last year. It'll be different. You know what I mean? Um,
Yeah. I hopefully different, better, different.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, really, you can thrive with Pluto and Aquarius because you are an Aquarius.
Yes. I
And
am.
and,
I am.
this is a good, everyone has transits, we all not some people will never live through a Pluto in the 4th house transit. They will never go through that because it has to do with what your rising sign is, what transits we, go through. So, I also had Uranus in my 7th, Pluto in my 4th at the same time, etcetera, because I'm a Virgo rising, you're Libra rising, so we're just one sign off on our rising sign, which just means that I've been through things prior to you, now you're going through the same things I've already been through. So, it's,
Interesting.
that's because 'cause you're Libra rising. Yeah.
So are you worried for
No,
me
I'm
having
not
said
worried
that?
about you. No, you've been actually Uranus through the 7th is very, very hard. It's hard to have relationships. It affects your identity, yourself, your whole body, your health. So Uranus is going to leave into the 8th, and I think money. There's going to be changes in your finances for sure.
The other
Yeah,
thing that I'm hoping for is like, a financial transition for
yeah,
me. If I'm not going to be doing
absolutely.
movies anymore, I want to be doing something
Yeah,
that's going to be lucrative for me
yeah,
so I can not struggle.
absolutely.
Like the one thing about my life that I could say is that I got into something that I was doing that I enjoyed, that provided me an income where I could live, where I didn't have to think about the price of
Yeah,
eggs or gas or
sure.
anything else. And I'm kind of, want to live in
Yeah,
that arena
yeah.
still. And, I don't know. I'm, I don't even know how to take that reading. Part of me is like, oh God, what is going to happen with my family and my home? And the other
It's
part of me is
it's
like,
it's meant to be.
it's all going to be good.
It's just there
Yeah.
will be changes. There will be changes. And usually there's a move. But I'm just I could be wrong. I mean, but cuz you have I mean, these are energies that affect you, but it's your free will and choice. So what it
Hmm.
might come down to
Yeah.
is you have a job opportunity, but they want you to move and you may decide you don't want it. It's
Yeah.
that kind of energy.
Yeah.
It's your choice then.
I mean, at the end of the day, I will have to keep you
Yeah, keep me
posted.
posted.
I'll keep you posted. It was a lot to chew on. Like I literally have a lunch
Oh
with
yeah.
a colleague
Oh
on
yeah.
Friday, so I am really hoping the colleague is gonna be like, oh, da 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 da
Yeah.
da, and we have like a job
Yeah.
coming up. But I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if I'm meant to be in the movie industry. If I'm not meant to be in the movie industry, I really don't know where I'm headed. My life is in such a state of
Yeah.
flux, but apparently that flux stage is not over. There's going to be more fluxing
Yes.
ahead of
I mean,
changes.
if
So,
you're still wanting to be in the movie industry, you have Leo on your career house, which is perfect for that. Leo
okay.
is the entertainer, the actor, the actress, the musician, Leo, you have to feel like you're expressing yourself and your creativity.
Yeah.
That's your career.
Yeah.
Most people with Leo on the 10th house and Leo rising and Leo sun, etc., they are in the public eye. They're on TV, they're actors, actresses. So you're in that right field, even maybe screenwriters, editors, writing plays, producers, anything where you can express your creative side.
I definitely need to be doing something in that
Yeah,
arena where I am expressing myself creatively. And even as I get older, I feel like only getting more and more and more creative, and only
absolutely.
feeling the need to be creative more and more and more as I get older.
Yes.
Um, well, enough
Well,
about me. I'll have to keep you posted on
yes.
that. We will close it out. I am so desperately thankful that you came back to
Yeah,
talk about the Age of
yeah.
Aquarius. The final question
Sure.
I will have for everyone, and thank you everyone for hanging in to have our little future discussion about me. But what is the best advice you can give people for maneuvering the coming years of the Age of
Yes.
Aquarius? Like what do you feel is on deck for the
I
the
have my
the global
yes, I
consciousness?
have my little quote. My recommendation, I actually have it typed up, is to purge old energy,
Okay.
embrace new energy, forgive, let go, and trust the universe that there is a reason for everything that is happening. Look up at the sky and see those signs in the sun, moon, and stars that will likely be happening much more often. That's my recommendation.
I like that. I almost felt like that was for me because I'm going when the event happens,
Yeah.
whatever happens, whether or not it's good or bad, I really am going to say to myself,
Yeah.
this is in the cards for me. It's the universe expressing the way it's supposed and meant
Yeah.
to be, and I should just march forward
Yeah.
accordingly. So,
Yes. Thank you.
Carmen Schott, ladies and gentlemen, pick up her book,
You.
Astrology's Magical Nodes of the Moon, Releasing the Past and Embracing the Future. You will find out so much about what your soul purpose is, what you are meant to be doing on this this lifetime on this earth, and it's a wealth of information. I think that it's a shame that astrology kind of went the ways of like
Yeah.
like not taking, like, it is such a real
Yeah.
science. It is such a absolutely um important piece of figuring out who we
Yeah.
are as humans on this
Yeah.
planet. It's a, like, it's so legitimate,
Huge.
and I'm so happy that you are able to come back to the
Yes.
show and spend your time and tell us about
Yeah.
2025. There's going to be lots of changes coming up, folks. I hope everybody holds on, feel
Yeah.
good, resonate with higher vibrations, and trying to embrace change with bravery and with peace and calm, is, I guess, the best information I can
Yes.
give. So
Thank you.
with that, ladies and gentlemen, Carmen, thank you for coming today, and we will see you next week on Fate, from Atheism to Enlightenment. Journey well, everyone. Bye-bye. Alrighty, gang. That is a wrap on this episode of Fate, from Atheism to Enlightenment. Thank you, Carmen Schott, for coming on board and talking to us about the Age of Aquarius, what it means, and what should we expect during the next few upcoming years that is going to be probably filled with a lot of change, maybe with a lot of chaos, a lot of fear provoking experiences you're probably going to witness. And I really wanted to come on and do a show about the Age of Aquarius in the beginning of this year. We have already seen some eruptions, some fear-provoking things happen in the United States. That's where I'm living. I'm from Los Angeles, and I have already experienced the terrible fires that were happening in January. I ended up having to leave and go to Long Beach for a few days. I was very lucky. I didn't lose anything. I know friends who have, and I would not wish that on my worst enemy. It's just awful. I think that we're going to see a lot of institutions break. I think we're going to see a lot of chaos. I have plenty to be fearful of right about now. I'm in the middle of a total career change. What Carmen said about my chart this year made me nervous. I'm trying to think like, oh, well, it could be all great stuff. I could be having my best days ahead of me. But I don't know. I was just judging from her energy and her vibe that it was like, you might have some shit coming deck here that's not going to be so great for you. But who knows? I will keep you guys posted. I always do. I do want to monetize this, y'all. I want to grow this. I want to build upon this podcast. I would love to turn this into something that I was doing full time, and it was allowing me to live a somewhat normal life. So I'm thinking about doing a Patreon account. I'm thinking about doing a subscription-based model and like still doing the free stuff, but maybe having like, I don't know, maybe Busby's below the line subscription, where below the line is like, I would love to start talking more about some stuff that is super not mainstream, like maybe go more into interdimensional beings, channeling, witchcraft, aliens, stuff that is so far out there, but I find fascinating. I would love to maybe set up a little subscription where you're getting like the really, really juicy nitty gritty of what is going on in our reality that most people would not accept, not easy food to swallow. So anyways, I'm thinking about doing stuff like that. Maybe putting my logo on a hat or a t-shirt. I don't know, but I will say this. It has been an absolute delight to do this podcast. I would absolutely do it for free for a long time if I could. I don't know how long I can do it. I feel like I'm doing a full-time job. Like I'm constantly reading, doing outlines, editing, um, you know, doing the interviews. Like it's a full-time job. I love it. I would love to get paid to do it. I would love to help people navigate their own spiritual awakening. It's not easy to go through a dark night of the soul. It's not easy to go through an awakening. It usually entails a lot of trauma. I have learned a lot in my life. I've learned so much, and I have just devoured all of this information on a regular basis for a while now. And I feel like I'm gaining wisdom. I'm gaining insight. I'm gaining a lot of knowledge about the nature of our reality, about what's real, what's not real, about all kinds of things. And I'm feeling a pull to share that. So I'm going to keep doing this show, but I would love it if I do add a Patreon account or a subscription-based account. I would love your support. I promise if I make you pay for something, it is going to be stuff that is super interesting, super non-mainstreamy, and super entertaining. There's a lot of things people can say about me. One of them is that I'm sort of entertaining. So I will definitely make it entertaining. I'll make it fun, funny, and maybe I'll bring on some of my movie friends and do episodes. Anyways, I'll make it a whole thing, something I'm thinking about doing. Thanks for ushering through the 30 minutes of her and I just talking about my chart. I'm really curious as to what's coming up for me. I have no idea. I'm kind of at the back end of a lot of things in my life, and I'm either going to be swimming or sinking. And I hope I swim. I hope I swim. I hope that whatever changes happen this year, that we are able to navigate them in a way that doesn't cause such chaos, such, trials and tribulations. I don't really know what to expect in 2025. It's going to be a journey, isn't it? It really is. But today's my birthday, so I wanted to do an episode not only about the Age of Aquarius, but also about a little bit about what's coming up for me. I have been through so much these last decades. I've been up and down and around, and last year was not great year. But it sounds like I have more changes to endure. It sounds like I have possibly some upheaval, maybe positive upheaval. Not all change is chaotic. Some change is like amazing. And I'm going to resonate with that. And I'm not going to live in fear. Whatever changes I do have coming for me, I really am as tough as they come. Like I'm pretty tough. So I will react accordingly. I will make smart decisions, and I will not live in fear. I'm just going to march forward and do the best for myself that I know how to do. So that's all you can do, folks. It's really all you can do. But pick up Carmen Schott's book, Astrology's Magical Nodes of the Moon. I will leave it in the show notes. And it's a good book. It will show you what your soul purpose is. It'll guide you. It's a great guide to your life. Astrology, it really is its own science. It is real. It's we used to think of it as just something to do for fun, but there's science and there's meaning and there is a universal law there that we haven't accepted as real for a long time, but I think it's having a resurgence. I think people are really understanding that astrology is just something that is. We are connected. Everything is connected. We're certainly connected to the planets, and we are going to have energetic phases. And we are in the Age of Aquarius, gang. So welcome, everyone. There is going to be changes ahead. Let's unite. Let's find community. Let's learn to be less judgmental, less harsh, less fearful, and move forward as a more enlightened person. I'm kind of looking forward to people experiencing the awakening, of understanding what and who we are. I think there's some exciting changes ahead for us, really. I think it's a lot to be excited about. But I do think with all change, there does come some downsides. I think you're going to see some chaos. I think you're going to see some disruption globally. But everybody should just hang tight, hold tight to each other. Don't be fearful. And we're gonna get through it. It's gonna be okay. I promise. I promise. It's all gonna be good. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go ahead and leave it there. Happy birthday to me. And we will see you next week on Fate, from atheism to enlightenment. If you want to follow the show, I'm on Instagram at F.A.T.E podcast. Follow the show. Let me know what you think. I'm always open to new guests. If you're having a spiritual awakening, if you have spidey senses, if you're launching a new whatever and it aligns with what I'm doing here, let me know. I would be happy to entertain the thought of having you on the show and promoting whatever you have going. So, anyways, gang, we'll see you next week. We'll keep going. I'm going to keep going as long as I can. Welcome to your fate, everyone. Journey well. Bye-bye.